Alright, so this afternoon we are cutting up some of the homemade candy that we made for Christmas presents for our friends and family at church and our neighbors and things like that we love to make goodies at Christmas time. So I have videos on my channel of how to make all of this that we have posted. So if you want to see how we made it, just check the channel and watch the videos. So this one, the first one that we're cutting, is called it's called potato candy or a peanut log, candy log, lots of different names. But this is what it looks like. Let me show you. See, when you cut it. So it's like rolled up. So that's why they call it like a candy log, right? Because, and when you watch the video, you'll see why, or how you get it to be like this. And it's really delicious, and it's really different too, because I never, until my husband told me about this, I had never heard about it, and I had never even had any. But it's very delicious, and I think it really came from like the Appalachian Mountains. That's where this recipe originated from. Alright, so like I said, so the recipe for this type of candy came from around the Appalachian Mountains, like I said, a long time ago. I believe it was like in the Depression era. That's when people started making this. And so my husband, he's from that area. And so it's really funny because, well, he told me about this recipe, of course, and he made this for us. And it's really good. And the way that the people in the mountains talk is kind of different, and some people might say weird, but so like for example, and you'll see this when you see the video of us making this, is that you use potatoes, right? Well, the people who live in the Appalachian Mountains, they call it Irish potatoes when they're trying to say Irish potatoes. So, there you go. That's kind of funny, right? They also say, instead of window, they say winder. Instead of holler, or holler instead of hollow, right? Like, in the mountains, you know how this, and trust me, because we lived in the mountains for a little while, and I know this from personal experience. And if you like daylight, don't live in a holler in a mountain, because you don't get much daylight, okay? So that's just a funny joke. If you know anything about that, you will think that that's a funny joke too, because that's very deep. You have mountains, tall mountains, and then people live in these little, like, to me, a ditch, right? It's not for me, but some people like it. So and then, like, I always say acorn. See, he's getting me. Look, see, I'm trying to explain to you, and I'm going to start talking like that. I say acorns, right? That's what most people say, from an oak tree, an acorn. Well, they, and my husband likes to say acorn, right? Okay, so lots of different little weird things, right? And I asked him, why do they talk like that? And I guess it's just, from a long time ago, I don't really know the reason, but they have a hard time pronouncing different, long syllable words, so they kind of shorten it up. So, but it's just funny and cute. But anyways, so that's where this recipe came from. And so, unless you're from that area, or if you knew anybody from that area, then you probably might not have ever seen this. And it's really, really good. So, also another little funny thing that my husband likes to say is what he likes to call a bag. So he likes to call it a paper poke. Of course, that's if it's a paper bag. Now, if it's a plastic bag, I guess you would just call it a plastic poke, I guess. So depending on what it was, a paper or plastic, right? But a poke is a bag. I don't know where they get that from, because that doesn't sound anything like bag, but who knows? People just, they come up with these words, and then it sticks, I guess, right? For people to keep saying. So it's just interesting. And so that's where how we came upon this recipe. And this, and let me tell you, we've made this for people last Christmas and things like that, and it is popular. It's really different. And so it's really
Just want it to stay open.
It's really, really different, okay? Alright. So yeah. Okay, so anyways, back to this. So here I'm almost done cutting this, and if you want to, like I said, look at my channel for the recipe, and we'll also put the recipes in the description of the videos for each of these candies. So if you don't have to like write it down while I'm telling you the directions. So, and this is this recipe for this, and actually all the candies that we've made up until now, they're very simple. They're not hard at all. Not many ingredients. Doesn't take a lot of time. Really not too much oven time. For this fudge over here, there's a little bit of oven time, but not a lot. This one, I guess we'll just eat those couple pieces because there's only 2 of them left. Okay, so now our next candy that we are going to do is we did I was gonna say potato fudge, peanut butter fudge. So how I'm gonna get this out now? Like I said, we've already made it and we've already chilled it. So we're just gonna get it out of the. Oh, that didn't even work. Maybe I didn't hit it hard enough. Oh, I heard it. There we go. I just needed one more hit. Okay. And we wrapped it, we lined it with wax paper, and see right here, that's the reason that you line it with wax paper. Look how easy that is. And look how easy cleanup that's going to be. There's not much cleanup when you line it with wax paper, right? Now we're going to use this to cut it with. Now, you can cut your fudge into however big of pieces you want. I'm kind of going to do small to medium because we're giving these away, and also fudge is very rich. If you ever eat fudge, you know you don't need a very big piece, right? So, and I'm going to try to make a good amount of pieces with this. So, okay. So, and also when you're cutting the fudge, if a little bit crumbles, I think that it's all right. I mean, it's still going to taste good. It doesn't really matter the shape, right? I mean, I'm not even cutting this very good, actually. So I think it's still going to be, it still tastes good even if it crumbles. So I don't think you should waste it. And I don't think the people that you give it to, I don't think that they will mind either. Because this part right here is crumbling a little bit for some reason. So I don't know why, but that's okay. Alright, so now, while I cut this, I want to tell you a really amazing thing that happened to me. So, it's a testimony for sure of God's glory and His provision, and how He always will provide for His children, even in ways that you would never expect it. So, the other day, one of our friends from church, she called me and she asked me she said, I had a funny thing to ask you. And I said, yeah. And she said, well, do you need any socks? And, that's kind of, you would think, some people might think that is a kind of a funny thing to ask if some people need socks, because that's kind of a basic thing, right? Most people have a lot of socks. And, I had never told her this, but actually, me personally, barely had any socks. I mean, literally, I barely had maybe 3 good pairs of socks. That's not that much socks, right? And so I was like, oh my goodness, that is such a blessing. Thank you so much. Of course, I could use socks. I could really use socks. And so she was like, oh my goodness, that's amazing. She's like, I didn't know, what to do with them. I had so many extra socks that I couldn't use anymore. And so I was so blessed, and I was so thankful that she gave me a whole bag of socks. And that just goes to show you, God knew I needed socks, and He finds people and He finds ways to provide for His children. And I'm still so grateful and so amazed about how He provides. So God works in miraculous ways. So it's not always monetary, right? the way that he provides. He provides in lots of different ways. Think about all the ways he provided for the Israelites in Bible times, right? I mean, there was amazing ways. All the times that they were in the desert, the wilderness, when they needed the bread, he's amazing. And he always has been, and he always will be. He doesn't change, and that's the great thing, too. That's the great thing. Is the way he was back then in Bible times, in Old Testament times, he is exactly the same. So he's exactly the same. And that's why it's so comforting to his children today, to me, and to anybody who accepts his gift and accepts Jesus into their life. He is the same as he was to his children a long time ago. So praise God, he is wonderful. And I love him. All right, so now also another great story that has happened. It just happened to us today on the way to church. So this is about his glory and his mercy that he offers and that he gives to his children as well. Well, we were driving and we were running a little late. I hate to say it, but we were hosts today, so we had to be at church earlier, and we were running a tad bit late. So we were driving, and my husband was driving a little bit past the speed limit because we were running late. He wasn't paying attention, and oh my goodness, guess what happened? A state patrol was driving the other direction, and he pulled us over because we were speeding. And we were both looked at ourselves and said, oh my goodness, what are we going to do? This is not really good, but what are you going to do, right? I mean, you can't do anything. So he pulled us over and he was like, hi, what's going on? And we're like, yeah, well, we're going to church. We're running a little late. We weren't paying attention, right? And so he's like, okay. He's like, all right. So he goes there. He goes to the back of his car, gets the stuff, and then me and my husband, the time when he was back there, we were talking, and we're like, oh my goodness, where are we going to come up with the money for the ticket? It's probably going to be a couple $100. What are we going to do? We're like, oh, this is not good, right? Well, then he comes back within probably even less than 5 minutes. I mean, he was very quick too. He was very quick, very courteous, really nice for a state patrolman. And he comes back and he was like, all right, it's just a warning. Just be careful, don't speed anymore, and have a great day. I mean, really, that's like amazing. God's mercy was all over us. I mean, that is just like so amazing because, like my husband said, because in the past, my husband has been pulled over by a patrolman before, state police. And he says normally to him, they don't give you warnings, right? I mean, they're going to give you the ticket, right? And so he was astounded, and so was I. And that just shows God's mercy all over his children as well, in lots of different ways. And so we praised him and we thanked him, and I said, thank you, Jesus, you are there always. You are always there, even if we don't know it or we don't feel it, or even in the moment, you don't feel like he's working. He is always working for his children's good. So there's two wonderful testimonies of God's love and God's glory and God's mercy and grace that he shows his children. All right, so we're just about done with this, and then I'm going to get to the chocolate fudge, which was our third candy that we made. And this is not all the goodies that we're going to make this year, though, right now, or for this season. So we're going to do cookies, and we have another type of candy that we're going to make. I think Hannah and my husband are going to make that here in a little while, which we'll do a video of that, which we did do that last Christmas, too. I think that there's a video from last year on the channel, but to update you guys so you don't have to look through the whole year of videos, we will post it again. So, and also, like I always say in my other videos, please, if you guys make candy or make goodies at Christmas time, please leave it in the comments. Let us know what you guys make. It's always fun to hear what other people make for their family and friends, what they like to share at Christmas time for Jesus' birthday, and to celebrate and have a wonderfully blessed Christmas with all the yummy goodies and all the wonderful foods. And it's fun to even share about what you guys like to eat on Christmas, like lots of people lots to do different things, right? So please share it with us and put a thumbs up if you like our channel and our videos, please. That really helps us. And subscribe, of course. We're getting a lot of subscribers. I'm very thankful for all of our subscribers. So thank you if you are a subscriber. And thank you for watching and commenting and everything like that. And please keep doing it and sharing it with others, please, because that's going to bless us to be able to bless more people with the God, or with the lifestyle God has given us. Okay, so that's the last of the peanut butter fudge. Now we're on to the chocolate fudge. Now our chocolate fudge, we put walnuts in. You don't always have to put walnuts in it if you don't like nuts. You can just have it plain, but we put walnuts in it. I'm going to go clean this off and I'll be right back. Okay, so now we're at the chocolate fudge. So see, this is, we did a little bit more chocolate than we did peanut butter. Probably just because chocolate may be a little bit more popular, you know. You don't really know, but I think that. Well, now look, that only took one hit. And of course the wax paper. And like I said, we put walnuts in it. You don't have to put walnuts in it, or you could even put a different type of nut. If you didn't like walnuts, I would think another type of nut would work as well too. So it's really your preference of what type of nut, or if you even put a nut in the fudge. Of course, you could just have it plain chocolate, right? You know, so. And also, like, you know, there could be variations on fudge as well. So if you know of any, or if you make variation, please let us know. We love to read the comments. We love our comments, and we love the good comments. Of course, don't leave a bad comment. That's not nice. But we appreciate and love our good comments from our subscribers and our viewers that leave such great comments. We love to read them, and our kids love to read them as well. And fudge is not hard to, it's not easy to cut. I mean, it's kind of difficult. But it's getting there. Okay. Whew, that was hard. I'm going to cut them a little bit thicker than I did the peanut butter because it's a bigger piece, a bigger thing of fudge. All right. All right. Here, I'm gonna go get a different knife. Hold on one second. All right. So, got a better knife. Got these cut into pieces. So, I'm putting 4 in the bag, like I said, like I did with the peanut butter fudge. And so now, so like I said before, this was the 3 first candies that we made for the season, for sharing, and for ourselves too, of course. And we're going to be baking more later today, and tomorrow a little bit, and then of course Christmas Eve we will do it as well. So please check back and see all the wonderful Christmassy things that we get to do and what we get to share with others, and how God's love and God's blessings are in our lives, and how we love to bless others with the things that God has blessed us with. And please leave us comments on the Christmas things that you like to bake as well. We love to read those, and we hope that you have a blessed day, and talk to you later. Bye.